there are three levels in options domination, okay? But they don't build on each other in the same way as you're used to. You don't actually have to have all three active. The three levels are inheritance, and then you have enterprise, and then you have legacy, okay? Legacy costs $399.95 per month. Enterprise costs $149.95 per month, and inheritance costs $49.95 per month. Okay, now important thing to note that enterprise includes everything in inheritance. Okay, so if you have enterprise, you do not buy inheritance, you get it for free basically with it. And legacy includes enterprise and inheritance in it. So if you buy legacy, you get the other two as well. So when you look at this cost, this is not a cumulative cost. You're not going to have all these three things. You just need one, okay? And I give you guys the same advice that I have used before with DST, that you have heard Roger repeat on webinars, Kevin repeat on webinars. Jason has mumbled it secretly and nobody heard it on a webinar, but he meant it too, that you should not buy for you, okay? And let me now explain what you get over here, okay? The reason this is called inheritance is that when you're going to first begin, you will be relying basically on what you receive from us. You will receive knowledge from us. You will receive a very cool thing in form of broker benefits. And I will explain those in a second to you. And you will also receive signals from us. At the enterprise level, and I'll clarify, these are technical signals that you will be receiving, which are essentially the ones that I showed you in the beginning, these thingamajigs over here. And we see somewhere around, in the neighborhood of 67 to 71% success rate. Okay, like today, for example, we were at 71.4 so far, okay? Again, that's the general neighborhood, okay, subject to market conditions. And those are the signals. Now, on the enterprise level, the reason it's called enterprise is at this point, you grow beyond what the knowledge is that you received. You actually begin interacting with the real world a little bit more. We actually have real market analysts who analyze the market and will be issuing signals based on some things that they see. You will be taking those trades, not just the technical trades. You will be taking those as well, but you'll be doing the more enterprise level stuff. And you will begin to understand a little bit more about commodities, futures, how the world works as a whole, why the price of oil has an effect on the price of gas that you're actually putting in your car, which should be pretty obvious, but unfortunately is not obvious to a lot of people. Things like that. You will get that information, but in particular, the key thing over here is you're going to get some stronger signals, which are slightly longer term signals, but they're also signals that you can build an entire business around because you can use those specifically to grow your income through both binary option trades as well as through commodity trades and futures trading. And we will give you some abilities to that. You will also get some indicators at this point and some strategies directly where I will actually be exposing some of the rationale behind why these signals are generated and how they are generated, because you will then be able to take some of these indicators and begin to figure it out. Now, we will obviously not be exposing everything about every type of signal that we issue and why we issue those, but you will get to understand how many of these work. Okay, you'll begin to do that yourself if you so choose. Okay. Finally, in legacy, you get the strongest type of signals. These are called unique market signals, or I like to call these intrinsic value signals. Okay, and intrinsic value means that we're actually analyzing what is the intrinsic value of a stock. Let's say Alibaba. What is the stock value of that company? Will that over time adjust, and what should it adjust to? What's expected to come out there, and things like that. And some of these are very long-term trades, like a month and a half. So you get these very, very strong level trades. You also get access to wealth protection strategies, and eventually what we will be launching, which will be our private hedge fund. And the private hedge fund is so exciting because you've all heard of hedge funds, and a lot of very bad connotations about them. And it technically just means people putting their money together and they're hedging against losses. And what we end up doing over here is that we have some access to some strategies and some systems that we've been able to set up thanks to the amount of money that we have available. Okay, not to brag or anything, but Jason is a millionaire. So we're able to set some stuff up. How many of you thought when I said not to brag, I was going to say something about myself? See, this is what's called misconceptions in conversations. Anyways, so because of Jason's well, we are able to get access to some of these things. I'm sorry. Okay, I was waiting for, I thought somebody was going to say something. But we get access to these wealth protection things, and you can't typically get into this stuff unless you're starting with at least, $100,000 to $200,000. But because of the way we will be able to structure this, and it has taken tremendous amounts of legal preparation, and there will be more of that happening, and we are not going to make that section, the private hedge fund, live until a little bit down the road. We actually have to make sure we have sufficient number of members. We want to make sure everything is working very smoothly, and we're negotiating some terms still. But when that happens, you guys will be able to get in there. The cool thing about that is you don't actually have to manage your trades. You don't have to actually think about the risk factor, because some of these are going to be as close to non-risk things that you can get. Okay, it's like, is fixed deposit in a bank account a risky endeavor? Not really. Of course, everything in the world is risky. I mean, there could be a meteor that hits the earth tomorrow and we would have problems. But in general, in a regular world sense of speaking, this is as close as you get to not having a risk. Okay. So that's the general growth. Okay, and the reason we call it legacy is because that's something that you can actually leave for your kids, and they're going to grow up and they can actually live off of the interest of the accounts that you have left for them. Okay, not, as I said, not live off the accounts, but they can live off of the interest being generated by the accounts you have left as a legacy for them. Okay, and I will explain something else after this that to me is very exciting about this whole scenario. Okay, now I mentioned broker benefits here. And this will hopefully help some of you understand the extent that we've gone to make sure you're safe. Okay, because the obvious question that you should have asked right here is, what happens if the signals don't work really well? What happens if I don't get it really well? What happens if I click the wrong button? What happens if I do not know how to read? Well, in that case, you go back to school. But in all of the other situations, we have you covered. Here's how. We have organized something with one broker already in written detail, in written agreements, and we have other agreements that are currently in the works, where this is what happens. When you sign up to the broker, okay, in the beginning, you obviously need some money to start trading with, right? So let's say you begin with $1,000. That doesn't mean that you spend $1,000. That means you say to yourself, I am going to use $1,000 to trade, okay, to check out this thing. And you go ahead and put $1,000 in the broker's account. A broker is basically, I'm going to say a website because some of you will understand that better. But a broker is basically a middleman. You go there and you will be taking the trades there. Okay, a broker is basically a website that you're going to take trades on, for the most part, for all practical intents and purposes. So you put $1,000 in. That doesn't mean you trade with $1,000. You might only take a trade with $50. Again, that's actually what we suggest. Don't trade with more than $50 per trade when you have only $1,000. What happens is the broker is going to give you $350 worth of risk-free trades. Basically, $50 trades and 7 of them. That means if the first trade you take, you lose, the $50 goes back in your account. The second trade you take, you lose, the $50 goes back in your account. The third trade you lose, $50 goes back in your account. Fourth trade you win, which means you just got a $40 profit. Let's say you're getting an 80% payout, you got a $40 profit. $40 goes in your account. Your account balance now will be $1,040. Okay, the first 3 losses will not be counted. And you won the second trade. Well, your balance is now $1,080, and you lost the next trade. Your balance is still $1,080. Okay. Now, some of you might come across something like this. They're called risk-free trades. But understand that usually when you take these risk-free trades, what the broker will tell you is, well, if you lose, then you can't withdraw your money. You have to keep trading forever. These are truly risk-free trades. There is no restriction, no withdrawal limit, nothing like that. You take the trades, you lose, the money goes in your account. You win, you keep the profit. Okay. So right off the bat, you paid $49.95 a month to join Options Domination, or up to $3.99 a month to join Options Domination. We have already given you most of that money back, not even counting the matrix and all that fun stuff. Okay. On top of that, you get the ability, the other risk-free trade, I don't want to say it's a bad risk-free trade, but the other risk-free trade where you actually have to trade up to a volume to get the money back. You get an option to do that with $250 as well. Okay. What that means And you'll find all these details in the back office once you're in options domination as well. That means that if you win the trade, okay, let's say you take a $50 trade and you win the trade, great, the money is yours, goes in your account. Your account balance is now $1,120. But if you lose the $50, you have the option for them to put the $50 back in your account, but then you have to trade equivalent to $1,500 to get that $50 to become yours. Okay, what that means is when I take a trade of $50, that's my $50, my volume of trading. When I take 10 trades of $50, my volume of trading is 500. Okay, that's what that basically means. So when you hit the volume of 1,500 in total trades, which means you've taken $30, then that $50 that you lost over here will become yours again. Okay, so you have the ability to do that too. But I actually don't even necessarily recommend that you do that. I'm just telling you that's available. Some of you will want to do that if you're playing with money and you're like, you know what, I don't care. But right here, you have truly $350 worth of money given to you. The reason that has been given to you is because, once again, we have chosen to take food away from Jason Rose's kids. And we have said, instead of the broker giving him the commission, we're going to give that commission in form of a benefit back to our customers. Okay? And that's what we've done. It wasn't quite as morbid as taking food away from his kids. It was more just taking food away from him. And not just food, it's more like he eats ice creams and whatnot that he shouldn't be eating anyway. We just took that away. And we sold it all on eBay, and that's where you get your benefits from. But that's Roger's function in the company. Kevin threatens him with a missile, iron in, and sneak the stuff away from him. If he chases after me, I throw some spices at him, and then Roger sells it on eBay.
Real quick, Hitesh, I got one more question that I think that I would love to cover this. And this is going back to the Matrix guys, so we're going to hop back into affiliate Matrix land real quick. If you're in at a higher level and other people are in at higher levels, what are the income levels? Okay.
Don't break the flow, man.
He was getting to that.
Okay. No, the reason I didn't mention that yet is because I want to finish the product side, okay? And then I want you to go over that part. Okay, so just wanted to finish off the product side. Now, this is available to everybody. This is not something that we're going to say, oh, you're not legacy, forget you only get $50. No, you all need that, okay? If you're just starting out trading, this is what you need. Okay, you especially need it if you're at a lower level, okay? So there is no discrimination from our part about that. But you get other benefits, like I said, stronger signals and a bunch of other fun stuff because of being on a higher level. The reason I didn't mention anything about higher commissions is because I don't want you to make a decision based on the commissions. I want you to make a decision based on what the product is and what it can do for you. Okay, that's it. But there is a side benefit, which is the commissions. And Kevin is going to talk about those commissions now. Go ahead, Kev.
I'm multitasking while I do this, but I'll tell you. Okay, so if you're in here and you come in at the $49 level, okay, the first level to come in here, you get in, you're going to be able to earn $1 per person per month in your matrix. All right, the next level, if you're in at the 149 level, your income from everyone that is in at that 149 level will now go to $3 per month per person at that level in your matrix. All right, so you're tripling your income on the folks that are in at that higher level. If you come in at the 399 level, you're looking at $7 per month per person at that level. So you can see very quickly that the original estimations that were thrown out there, if you had a full matrix, your income goes up dramatically if you have people at those levels and you're at that level yourself. So just another incentive. Does that make sense to you guys? Higher incomes and higher levels, just like we have here in DSD. Awesome. So if you have that product, now also, once you guys get in, you can look at the compensation plan, the official compensation plan doc, and you can see that there are stipulations that if you're doing X amount of volume at those levels, meaning if you referred 10 people at that legacy level, then you would qualify for that income as well, okay? In the compensation plan as well. But the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to be at that level. Take advantage of all the great things that are in there and guarantee you're going to make an income at those levels. You know what's crazy about that? I want and while the yeses roll in, I want you to think this question. When you recruited somebody, for those of you who have, think about this. When you recruited somebody and you told them you need to go ahead and grow this business, and here's how you get it. We're going to contact your friends and family, but we need to get people in your downline. You need to refer 2 people ASAP. Let's get that moving. And they said to you, and I'm sure this has happened, well, I'd love to recruit, but I need to make money before I can recruit. Has that happened to you guys as well? Have you gotten that answer from people saying that they need to make money before they can recruit, before they can go to their friends, before they can go to their family, before they even feel comfortable posting this on Facebook or on the internet or anything? Happens all the time. So you're in a situation, your customers are in a situation, and your team members that are in DS moving over to options, anyone you recruit, they're in a situation where they can go out there, they can enter the markets, they can grow an income, they can take snapshots of that. They could even go on a demo account and trade, see that it works for themselves, post demo account snapshots. What are we innately giving them in this situation? We're giving them a way to go, wow, I made money. Now I'm on a level playing field with everybody else. Guys, I did make money in this. Come on over. Come take a look at it. And those results can happen fast. And for some folks, like Hitesh said, some customers will come in, they might make $9,000 that month or that week. And in those situations, they can easily go out there and now recruit because they didn't even lift a finger, but they made money. I didn't do anything in this yet, but I made money. You want to come check it out? It's the easiest thing that we can do to give you, that will give you the ability, and people far down the road, the ability to actually go out there and recruit, because you can have success before you even make that first recruiting email, before you post on Facebook, before you do these things. So that to me is a game changer. Just like Michael says right here, prove first and then recruit later. That's the situation you guys are in. And I think everyone knows that we're not too hypey. We don't like to hype things up. Hitesh just went on a long rant about how have expectations, the right expectations. We don't want to sell you something and have it not work. And I think you guys see that this is probably the best thing that has came along since DS Domination.